Yeah, thank you for inviting me. And first of all, I'm impressed by the organization of the conference, and I'm also inspired by all the speakers I've heard the earlier days, and not least by the discussions we've had in the coffee breaks. I think these are essential for bringing forward innovations and finding new solutions. First of all, Vinnova, you made the introduction, so I won't say too much about Vinnova, but we are similar to Tekes in Finland, for those of you who are from Finland. And to complete your picture of what I've been doing back in the days, for more than 20 years I've been working with innovations in small and medium-sized companies. And I had the opportunity to be one of the first initiating one of the first clusters in Sweden, Aluminiumriket. It's called Kingdom of Aluminium. I will come back to that later on. I was also the process manager of one of the first regional innovation systems. So I've been dealing with these issues for quite a while. So I will share some of the success stories, but also some of the failures that we have been going through. So what is BSR Stars, the thing I'm going to talk about? Well, the European Commission has a special program for the Baltic Sea region, BSR, and BSR Stars is a flagship within the EU Baltic Sea Strategy in Priority Area 7, and under that we are running a project called StarDust. I will come back to that further on, but first of all, what is the vision of BSR Stars? Well, the purpose is to create a number of world-leading innovation hubs in the Baltic Sea region by linking strong research and innovation milieus, clusters, and SME networks. And as you see in this picture, the Baltic Sea region may be the wrong name because it's actually Northern Europe, because we include Iceland and Norway as well. By working in this area, creating a home market, you will see that some of the rationales why we should work together is, first of all, bringing together the knowledge in these innovation hubs that we can see gives us a critical mass. We need to have our own home market, and if we calculate the number of inhabitants in this region, it's close to 100 million, and for SMEs it's essential to have the starting point of a larger home market. Closeness is also important for innovations, because I think that when we see common needs and in a common process, we have a higher ability to create new innovations. And as I said, the larger home market is a good start for bringing together, and also we have knowledge in different areas around the Baltic Sea. We have universities finding new research in certain areas. Why shouldn't we share that together with the companies that are on the other side of the Baltic Sea, or maybe on the other side of Sweden, in Norway or Iceland? And we are all facing the common challenges and also the common potentials for the future. So actually, if I want to calculate all the buzzwords that we could use here, we have been talking about smart specialization. Of course, this is what we are aiming for in the process. We have multi-level governance. We have more than 10 ministries taking part in the steering committee, and we are bringing it down to national and regional level. So we actually have partners at regional level taking part in the process. Before continuing, I would like to give you a picture of the collaboration and cooperation that we try to establish. Some years ago, I had the opportunity to sit down and talk to one of the founders of one of Sweden's small and medium-sized company who merged and became a larger company called Thule. The name of the founder was Willis Thulin. And he said to me, Eric, if you enter a meeting or a collaboration with a hand like this, with a closed fist, you are probably bound to get out from that meeting with a closed fist, because you're not showing what you are sharing and you will get nothing back. If you enter with an open hand, you probably will have to do like this when you're going out, because giving is getting back, and this is the process that we're actually trying to establish within the project. And this picture shows you why we have chosen the name BSR Stars. We try to establish 5 stars in the early process for a global competitiveness. And before you have the stars, of course, you create them by StarDust. So the project StarDust is now up and running, and this is what we are focusing, and I will tell you a bit more about. And as you see, we have a track record from earlier framework programs and earlier funding, and also a process of bringing together all these partners from clusters, from universities, from science parks, from policymakers, and from national interest. The 5 pilots have funny names, but these are challenging the grand challenges, and MarChain has a focus on bringing in together logistic issues on maritime environments such as ships, handling, cargo handling, and also services in connection to this. Clean water, I will come back to that a bit further. Comfort in living is actually addressing the more and more all the elderly population we have in the world, especially in parts of Europe. And we will, in that case, try to establish new innovations so that people can stay home longer instead of going into institutions. Active for Life has a similar approach where we are looking about services for elderly people. And finally, Mobile Vikings is looking into the mobile applications for mobile phones and addressing these issues. So here you find the partners and also the pilot leads. And I won't go too deep into this. Of course, these are processes that we are running now, and they are quite tough and sometimes. But I will focus a bit on clean water as we are in Finland. And this pilot is led by Lahti Science Park, so we are connecting to what you've heard about earlier. As you see, we have partners in Sweden, it's a cluster. In Poland and Finland, we have universities bringing in their knowledge. And of course, we are opening up for other countries and other clusters. But these are the ones initially financed. And we are aiming for Russia in this issue because we know that in St. Petersburg, we're having this as one of the cases that we're working with, where you are establishing clean water in St. Petersburg with the company of Vodafone. And we realized that we have possibilities to bring in small and medium-sized companies with special solutions that could solve the problems in the cleaning water issues. And the week before, we had visitors to Sweden from Vodafone. I think it was 10 managers visiting Sweden and the National Institute of Water Technologies. We also had a number of companies coming, showing their new innovation, and there was a large interest in new innovations that we actually were proposing. And I think establishing these connections will bring further new innovations, but also a better market situation for the small and medium-sized companies. And if you're a quick reader, you will see all the partners. Maybe we have some of the partners here. These are the 34 directly involved. And as you see, these are both clusters, but also universities and also regions. And we have also 34 associated partners. So you can see that's a lot of things that we have to handle in this process. This is the picture. If you have been running European projects, you realize that we are always putting it together in some work packages. And I'm glad to say that if we look at work package 5, we have Culminatum from Helsinki, who is in lead of that, participating in the conference. There we're actually looking into new tools, how to develop and establish new connections between the universities, between the companies. And we heard earlier from Finnode about the signal sessions. We've been using this in some of the pilots, and we think this is really of interest for bringing it forward to have these initial global signals coming into the system. So this is actually the process that we are running, and me, myself, I'm working within this field, not talking too much about the tools, but actually going in deeply into the companies, into the clusters, and also supporting the cluster managers in different aspects. I might be rude now, hopefully you will forgive me for this, but I said I will say something about obstacles. I know you Finns have some stereotypes about how we Swedes act and how we are. And for sure, Swedes have stereotypes about Finns. I had the possibility to participate in Turku in a large seminar where you were having these open space activities, where you're supposed to be, in a lot of discussions, come forward to some solutions. And I was asked afterwards what I thought about this, and one stereotype for a Swede is that Finns don't speak too much. So I had to say my conclusion after this open space seminar was that actually I've never seen so many Finns say so many words in such a short time. So I had to kill that stereotype. And I think this is what we are doing in the process. We are finding the strength among the partners around the Baltic Sea, and we are bringing this together, and we're also killing some stereotypes for the future collaboration and for the future possibilities. This is my final picture. I won't go too deep into this. As you see, we have activities, we have output, and the results we are hopefully gaining is open innovation. There's a new buzzword as well. Open innovation platforms for new innovation collaboration. Of course, smart specialization is part of what we are doing, and a toolbox of user-driven methods should have been developed during this process. And finally, commercialized products and a global competitive strength for all the participants in the project is what we are trying to achieve. And finally, I won't go too deep into this as I see the time is flying here. Finally, I will give you one quote from one of the early companies that I wanted to enter the kingdom of aluminium. I sat down with him for 2 hours why he should enter clustering and why he should be working with other companies in innovation. I told him he would get resources, research, he would get international possibilities, everything. And I talked to him and talked to him. Finally, he said, "Eric, I'll join. It's only one thing you've said that will make me join." And I thought, could it be the research? Could it be the funding, the money? What could it be? No, he said, "Eric, you said we should have fun together. That's why." Thank you for listening.